What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast.
If you want to be successful, look inside.
We don't like sitting in the discomfort.
Then all of a sudden that day came when I got $20 and 2 free drinks to do a show, and I was like, oh shit, here we go, baby. You know?
Thank God she hasn't caught a chicken yet because she'll tear her head off.
Don't be soft.
That patience is key.
If all my friends are winning, then it's going to make me want to win more.
What is up, everybody? The boys are back in town.
Woo!
Hitting that solo pod today. Just us. How you feel, Mendez?
I feel good, man.
Joined by our amazing content director, Kirsten.
Hello, everybody.
She doesn't want to be on camera because she hates us, so she's
Basically.
she's staying behind.
She just wants you to hear her voice. That's it.
Yeah, she nice and sultry.
But maybe the next one.
Yeah,
if
you guys want to find out more about her, just slide into her DMs.
Yeah, there you go. That's always the best way.
She's taking applications, guys.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man. So we were just talking about how fucking weird we are off podcast. This should be interesting, as always. If you guys haven't realized, we're a mixed bag of freaks over here. So
Mixed pack.
yeah, well, you got a better definition for us? 'Cause I don't.
The circus act.
So it's the thing that I could find that really aligns with who we are as people, just freaks. Right?
Freaks are doing something.
Listen, you're either a freak or a geek, you know, and
You prefer to be the freak.
I mean, I used to be the geek, and that got me nowhere. I never got laid, so.
Oh, so then you started getting freaky.
Yeah, well, you got to sometimes.
There you go.
You got. See, I knew it was coming eventually.
Don't throw it my way, though. I'm going to use
Just
it.
about a minute 45 in, and
don't
that's
make me capitalize on
just
it.
tossing it out. Gary Sheffield and that shit.
So you're saying the geek wouldn't get laid, but what happened with what started getting the freak laid?
I mean, that asshole personality, dude, you know, just cut and dry, telling them how it is and laying down that pipe. Sorry,
Kirsten,
Sarah.
would that work for you?
Would what work?
That
Being
asshole,
an asshole?
personality?
Of course, she loves that asshole.
Yeah, it's currently working great for me, actually.
Yeah, what kind of question is that? Of course. Of course. No, I'm surprised you're willing to admit it, though. Most girls are like, no, I love the guy that asked me how my day was. Like, pff, no, you fucking
You
don't.
know what? I was with guys like that, and it was
Steamrolled
too much.
them.
It was
You
just too
steamrolled.
much.
So
Yeah.
why do you
I
care
just
so
went
much
on a
about
road
me?
with
But
them,
wait.
yeah.
So what is the fine line? Like, what is
There's
the?
definitely a fine line.
Okay.
Like if you're disrespectful, then like no.
So
But
what is
no
asshole?
douchey's acceptable.
And what is the definition of disrespectful? Because I find the more disrespectful I used to be, the easier it was. Just completely ignore you like you're a fly
So
on
that
the
way
wall.
all our listeners know what to tell these girls and not to tell these
Yeah,
girls.
I mean, luckily, you know, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well,
so,
you break the fine line. So
you
what's
know.
the fine line for you?
Disrespectful would be like name calling. You know, like bitch, hoe.
Well, depends on when they're calling you that
Well,
name.
yeah,
I feel
I
like,
guess,
you
I
know,
guess.
sometimes I feel
All
like
right,
it's
but what is like? Oh, I like that.
when they do it in the bedroom.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But
No,
even that is
girls don't like to get hit until they're in the sheets, you know, and then it's like all like throw me. It's like you're being in jail, you know. I don't get it.
Do you in the bedroom? Do you try using Spanish words?
With my American girlfriend, how's that gonna work out? Do you?
No,
Do you?
no. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe you
do
might be
you?
into some little role playing. I don't know. You're in Puerto Rico now, so
I love how like speechless Josh
Do you? What do you think? Like I'm just like going in between, like trying to be Pepe Le Pew, like tu le veux say, oh oui, and then like fucking.
with Josh, you never know.
What do you
Josh,
think
you
this
never
is?
know.
Fucking the Toon Squad over here, bro? Like dead silence, all grunts.
No, is it
And
really?
hard stares.
Just
No blinking.
none at all.
None.
None
Zero.
at all.
Just. I mean,
man.
come on. You know, you gotta change it up every now and then, though.
Okay.
I feel like talking is necessary though.
Is it? Dead silent.
But like, what
Hannibal
kind of
Lecter
talking?
vibe?
Dead silent. Just crickets. Just cokies.
That's how it is for you, crickets.
Just nothing.
Just like I need to know like whether
Just-
you're like enjoying yourself.
Just noises. That's it.
I mean, such a tough such a Jesus Christ. Why do we start these solo pods up this way?
Bro.
Mendez's favorite topic.
I know. Usually I'm the one making you feel awkward.
You brought up when I was a geek, I wasn't getting laid, but when I was a freak.
I mean, better than what you're going to talk. What are you? Okay, go ahead. Come on, Chief Keef. Let's go.
Wait. It's always my fault.
Yeah, I mean,
always my fault.
Yeah, of course. I'm not the one that's going to be at fault. Why would I blame myself? That's never a good thing. You know, my self-esteem my ego needs to be fueled by, narcissism.
All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how you're enjoying Puerto Rico now. Now that you're officially been there for a few months, you're settled. That's your stomping grounds now. How's that been for you? What are you liking? What are you missing? How's that experience going?
Okay. Well, this is gonna rub some people the wrong way. So
plus,
story of my
should
life.
we mention the big announcement?
I want to keep that secret for a little bit. Gotta keep some things behind closed doors.
Okay.
But I mean, Puerto Rico's great, man. I mean, I love the island. The people, give or take, depending on who I talk to. Honestly, I don't really think most of them like me, since I'm doing the whole, Act 60 stuff. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, basically a tax incentive for Americans to move to the island. They say colonizing, but I don't really understand what that means, because most of them, have Spanish descent, and okay, so you guys were the original colonizers, and now how many are you? Are the Taino people, the local, indigenous people? None. So who's the real colonizer here? Not to mention, I like having, power every day and internet. But the island as a whole, I really enjoy. I mean, you know me, I'm from the country.
Yeah.
So getting outside and, being able to hike again, being able to plus with work, now I have a lot more flexibility of my time. If I want to take an hour and go swimming, I can, go to the beach for an hour. It's 5 minutes away. There's 40 beaches there that I can go to pretty close. We have obviously hiking. We have the waterfalls. We have the river system there. It's great. The nice thing about Puerto Rico that's different than, the majority of the Caribbean islands is it's mountainous, so you get a wide array of landscape that you can really enjoy. And, that's what I really appreciate.
You like it more than the beach?
Than South Beach?
No, I'm saying the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a freshwater river, the Thousand Islands where I grew up, the St. Lawrence River. Shout out to everyone up there who's still holding it down for all of us. Obviously, it's not that cold. It's not that dark water. But I like that, fresh feel. I like being able to open my eyes under the water. I like not having to shower off because I have salt all over me. But I can't complain about the beaches either, man. They're nice. Where we're at in the West Coast, it's pretty desolate in the morning. I wake up super early, that. So, we'll go to the beach 6 a.m. with the dogs, and there's nobody there, which is, my favorite part, because as much as I love people, I also hate people. So, I like to have my alone time.
Let's also mention, too, you were able to do this because you've been able to also maneuver your whole business online.
Well, thanks to you, Thanks for giving me the push.
Anytime. But most importantly, I would say it's just the whole fact that being online is such a huge game changer in today's world, right? And dude, I would definitely want to jump into that. How's that been different for you now? Being over, even though you were doing online here too, but you were still doing some in person, making that shift to now fully online, and having the opportunity to live somewhere else, but still work with people from the States and other parts around the world, being where you're at and just being able to just get up and go. A lot of people can't do that.
I mean, the flexibility is nice, number one, right? Living here in Miami, my girlfriend and I, we're both killing ourselves working, 14-hour days. And, it's expensive here compared to where we live in Puerto Rico. San Juan's still a pretty expensive area, but where we are comparative to living on South Beach is much, much cheaper. Our expenses are cut in half. And that means, because I only have to be on the island 6 months out of the year, we can go back to upstate New York, where we're both from, and spend a month. You
get to come over here and shoot
2
the
months.
pod.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, it'd be nice if someone gave me a blanket to sleep with when I stay at their house, instead of it being a fucking
and then the next day I give a 30-pound
Yeah,
blanket.
he's like, oh, yeah, here's this weighted blanket. I'm squirming underneath
He's like,
it.
bro, I can't even put this on myself.
I feel like Earthworm Jim over here, but The flexibility of being able to go home for a month and still be able to work and still be able to make money is really nice. It's enjoyable, like, again, it's a brand new challenge for me. There's like a whole side of that business other than, in person. Pretty much this is like, okay, I got to go find clients, which was never hard for me. Referrals have always been a huge part of my business, still are in the online game. But you're there for an hour with each person or a couple people that you might be doing if you're doing small group training or, 20 if you're doing classes. Yeah. But you're stuck there. You can't, I couldn't leave Miami. I couldn't really, I couldn't leave and feel like I could make money without having to like try to find some clients in upstate New York, which, I'm not going to do. So having that flexibility to be able to travel if I want to go to Europe or we want to go to Canada or we want to go to South America or wherever, like I can still do that. And I still know that the business is running itself, which is very nice. And and we've talked about this, right, is the accountability that I find that people who join, high ticket online programs, which is what I have, right? My new program, Active Made Easy, is out now. So you guys can go check that out. And, please, if you have any questions about the program, hit me up, or questions about health and fitness or life or whatever you want to try to do some of the shit that I've done. I'm an open book. I don't have any secrets. There's no secret to everything.
But here's the difference. It's like we were talking about accountability. You will learn to be accountable.
Yeah.
Right. You will learn to be.
You learn to hold yourself accountable. Right?
Exactly. I truly believe that that's the beautiful thing about online, that it's helped more people hold themselves accountable, which at the end of the day is going to get you the actual results we talk about all the time. Yeah, you can meet with a client and train them in person or over Zoom for that 1 hour, but
they're showing up because you're there, right?
Well, that's why they're showing up, right?
And probably 15 minutes late, unfortunately.
True. Or they're rescheduling for another time. But most importantly, it's like we talked about, what are they doing the other times that they're not with us? And if you can teach them to hold themselves accountable and be able to be more on top of those habits that they can shift over into positive ones throughout their daily life, all those hours that they're not with us, that's where the impact happens. And that's what I feel like with online, you can really drive that narrative of really teaching and coaching somebody to hold themselves accountable. Remember, you're not there for them and with them their whole entire life. So I'd rather teach somebody than just, I'm going to show up and just train you. That's it. And just let me control you. Yeah. And then go on and do whatever the hell you want. And collect a check, do whatever you want, and go back to your old ways. No, that's not coaching. That's not teaching somebody to be better and more optimal, right? But if you can get somebody to be more optimal and better overall with their day-to-day, that's when you actually see results for somebody.
Well, and you can help so many more people when you're not allocating 1 hour of your time every other day or 4 or 5 days a week. Like I had most of my clients on when I was training people in person here. Like I can expand my reach, right? Like I have a client who lives in like Welsh country in the United Kingdom, and I would never be able to train someone like him, right? So it's a whole nother learning experience. I'm get to learn a whole nother culture, right? What they eat, what their lifestyle is like, what they like to do for fun. And it's been tremendous, and I know you can tell the same, similar stories at least, right?
100%.
Being able to do what you do. And, I feel blessed to have you in my corner, right? People like you, Nick, Casey, those guys at BAM & Co. Like, we
tremendous
work with
guys.
them.
We've worked together with them. Tremendous way to lay out the vision and the true framework of how to be able to take your business from where it currently is at to a whole new height. Tremendous guys.
And that I'm all about seeking new challenges, right? Like whether it be physically, especially mentally. Like for me, working out, training, that's all great, and it's extremely important. But for me, like I'm very mentally driven. I like mental challenges more than anything, right? I think if you can learn to master your mindset, right? Like you can, anything you do with your body is just icing on the cake, right?
For sure.
But having to put myself in very uncomfortable situations, whether it be, finding leads, trying to sell people, right? Which has never been my forte.
I was going to tell you that. Is it for you to be in an uncomfortable position harder than you find most people doing it, or do you find it pretty easy for yourself to put yourself in uncomfortable positions?
I mean, like Kirsten and I were talking yesterday, right? Like I feel like my whole life has been pretty uncomfortable, you know, which is fine. Like I'm not asking for, you know, anyone to hand me a fucking tissue, you know, so I could cry. But I wouldn't say that I've had an easier life than some of my friends or some, you know, some of the people that I know. And it's just a normal day for me, right? To have to kind of go through these experiences, have to go through these challenges and figure shit out for myself, right? I wouldn't say I had a bad support system growing up, but I only had a few people in my corner, really, right? And everybody, you know, they were doing their own thing. I don't fault them for that, but I wouldn't say that they were the nicest and they weren't the most supportive, you know? So a lot of it time, and Kirsten and I were talking about this yesterday when we were having lunch after we got done shooting content, is like I had a lot of, I was very reclusive, right? I was by myself a lot. So I had a lot of time to think about a lot of things, right? And I had a lot of time to analyze different situations. I've been blessed to be in front of some amazing people since my childhood, right? And learn and be able to learn from them and learn how to ask better questions. And, you know, the podcast has obviously helped with that.
Yeah, it has tremendously, at least for me, I know.
Right. And I feel like getting in front of all those people is one thing, but absorbing the information and then applying it is a whole nother animal.
Yeah, because it's easy for anybody to just grab information, and then not do anything with it, right? Or most people just keep retaining. They don't even start something or apply what they already know. And then you go on through this life and process just more info, nothing with it. More info, nothing with it, right? We've all been there. We've done that, you know, but it's just, you know, obviously, man, it shows that, you know, in here, what we've been able to do and what we've been able to just start taking and applying has been paying off, you know, and we're not even close. We're not even close to where we want.
I mean, it's barely been a year with the podcast, man. It's crazy. We're, you know, almost touching on 170 episodes. It's you know, remarkable what we've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. And, you know, like getting in front of the people we've been able to get in front of and hear their stories, and it just makes me want to continue going and continue getting better. And it sounds really cliche, but it is a truth, right? The more experiences you hear from other people, the more experiences you truly want to live.
And the feedback from the audience too.
Totally. Yeah, just being on like behind the scenes, I've, you know, learned so much from all the different kind of guests that you guys are bringing with like this growth mindset, and everyone's really just like striving to just become like the best versions of themselves, and it's just inspiring to just sit here and listen.
Oh, and guys, Kirsten's always plugged up with the headphones, even if she's in the back, so she's tuned in all time to these podcasts.
Yeah, she has the unfortunate benefit of being able to listen to us, you know, sit in front of the camera on these microphones and fucking ramble our asses off. So, you know, thank you for.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, yeah, sure, if that's what you want to call it. But I think at the end that like one of the best pieces of advice that I got early in my career when we were both working at Equinox still was, you know, I had the opportunity to be in front of some of the most successful people in Miami and the country and, you know, sometimes across the world. And I got, you know, one of the trainers there was like, listen, utilize these people as mentors, right? Like you essentially, like at the time I might have been training, you know, 30, 40 people at a time. Some of the, like I said, most, you know, influential people in Miami in their own industries. And I was able to ask them questions about how they got successful, about, you know, the minute details, the processes, which got them to like, okay, well, you emailed this person and you got this door open for you. Like, what was the subject line that really caught their attention? What did you say in that email? How did you present yourself when you went to meet them for the first time? Where did you take them? You know, what conversations do you really like to have? I think all of those things are super important that people forget about. They just want to hear like, oh, you did X, Y, and like, give me the simple steps. No, I want to know the details.
And I think even going backwards on that is the fact that a lot of people even take for granted what they have in front of them. I think sometimes you even realize that.
I've been there.
I would go to, you know, even at Equinox, like, I was like, that first year I was viewing everything through the wrong lens. And when I saw it, when I opened my eyes, when I spoke to, you know, certain trainer, it was just like, I have an opportunity to connect with some of the, like you said, biggest people in Miami, or maybe even other parts in the country. And it's just like, what other place are you going to get an opportunity like that, where people are not going to be at a conference, at a webinar, where they're expecting for that to happen, where you can literally just like get them at their normal casual, where, you know, if anything, maybe even needing your help, right? Which usually it's the other way around.
Right.
And you have an opportunity to get in front of this person, right? I think a lot of people have seen, taken advantage when they were coaches or in other jobs where you're in a position like that, where you're around these pool of people, you only see it as like, oh, well, I have to go out here and not do this and the bullshit work and get the floor shift and get that. It's like you can view it in a different way of like, well, I'm going to speak to this person. I'm going to talk to that person. I'm going to learn from this person. If I put in the work and I actually now can get them in front of me, work with them, give them value, and then I know all the value I'm going to get back from this, but you took advantage in the sense of you saw that, but not many other coaches see that, right? They only see it as like, let's just thread and just get our work done and that's it.
Well, again, I think it all comes back to, being humble, right? I mean, I have this, big persona, right? And, I talk a lot of shit and I crack jokes and, but it's all just like a play, right? Like it's just a way for me to kind of, feel more comfortable in the environment that I'm in. But at the end of the day, like I came from, really nothing in the grand scheme of the world, right? Like I didn't grow up with, parents who were making $1 million a year or own businesses or, any of that stuff. Like I came from a really blue collar area of America. People work construction. They, finish their first job and then go to their second job and their third job and they're scraping by, and learning that I didn't really need a lot of that stuff except for the people around me, right? Like the community that I grew up in and I'm, you can probably attest to this where you grew up in South Miami, right? Is like, it was such a tight-knit community where like if I needed something, I could go to, my neighbor, I could go down the street and they would help you out, no problem. And it really made me understand the value of that personal connection with someone and being like intentional with your ability to show them who you really are, regardless of their reaction to who, what they might think and again, it took a long time to get there. Right. But at the end of the day, like if I wanted these people to truly respect me and truly learn from me with what my craft is, right, in health and fitness, I needed to be honest with them and, share 100%. These personal stories. And again, I didn't have to, go out there and try to sell people and everything. I'm very good at what I do, thankfully, and have learned from some really great people. But my clients ended up here in Miami are now my family, right? Like, I can go to them if I need some advice. I can go to them if I need, to borrow their car, or if I need them, or I they may need something from me. I have no problem giving to them. Like they're my family now, and they'll do anything for me. And that's something that I'll truly appreciate the rest of my life. But I don't think that would have happened if I wasn't comfortable enough, just like to take a deep breath, relax, and just not give a shit, number one, about, who they thought I was. And number two, work hard every day, right? Like the number one thing that my clients appreciated was they would give me money and they would know it didn't matter if it was 4:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m., 7 p.m., right? I was going to be there. I was going to show up and I was going to give them the best version of me that I could in that time, right? And if more people did that and stopped worrying about the outcome, I think more great things would come and fall into their lap. I
agree.
We joke around all the time about like, if we wrote books about, the experiences that we've had in life, people wouldn't believe them because it's kind of absurd, some of the shit that we've been able to do. But again, we were willing to embark on those experiences, right? Where most people would be like, oh my God, I can't do that. I don't have the right clothes. I don't know how to talk to these people. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Just go in.
Right. What about yourself, man? What's been going on with you? You've been fucking crushing it with business. I'm super proud of you.
Appreciate it, man.
And everything you got going on, changing the game in the fitness industry with your ability to help coaches shift from, the monotony of having to do 12, 13, 14 sessions a day to barely pay their bills to now having the type of freedom that we've been talking about.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And yeah, guys, for any coaches out there too, honestly, I know I know Josh threw his plug, so I'll throw my plug in here too. For any coaches out there who do need that help, and that's if you're ready, most importantly, if you're serious and you're ready to scale your business online using social media, DM me. Don't hesitate. I will reply, and I'll be the one replying to you. So whether it's a text message or a voice note, you will hear from me. And just to dive a little bit now into kind of what we were talking about. It's funny because I want to go way back, dude. Like, I was never a person that thought I would be teaching people or coaching people. I was scared shitless in school. I was not a person to get up on a board and present. I hated it. To be I was like, I would never be a teacher in my life, right? But again, I started realizing as you grow up, like, in a way, we're all teachers. We're all teachers. It's just when you find what you're most passionate about, what you enjoy most, you can end up teaching that to others, right? So in a way, we're all teachers. So I think it's more of like, going back, be the best version of yourself in whatever it is you're doing, and without knowing, you're going to be influencing others and teaching others in whatever it is that you do.
You know, as much as I'd hate to admit it, man, you know, seeing how you're younger than me, and I feel like you're my little baby brother in a sense. You know, I've learned so much from you over the past year, you know, about business, about work ethic, about, you know, setting priorities, setting boundaries. And I may not have told you, I mean, maybe I have, but maybe I haven't, definitely not publicly, but, you know, I appreciate you, you know, for coming into my life when you did, and, you know, being there and just being supportive on, you know, unconditionally. There's no way I would have been able to make the jumps and be able to do the things that I am now able to do in my life if it wasn't for, you know, the guidance that you've given me, even though you are younger than me, you know, so thank you, brother.
That, man.
Appreciate
the same here, man. You know, it's, dude, we all learn from each other, man. We all learn from each other. I could say the same. You know, I know we've said it to each other before. Possibly, you know, every now and then on the pod, like little teeter tots. But, you know, once again, man, like, you know, I'm always going to be here. I know you're always going to be here for me as well. And, dude, you know, look what we got going on. Look what we got going on. Like we've mentioned a few times. And, you know, it's not going to happen by ourselves. It's not going to happen with just one of us. It's not going to happen, you know, overnight. And it's not going to happen by us not growing and learning from each other, you know? So, you know, the same goes, man. You know, you learn from me, I learn from you. We understand our weaknesses and our strengths, and that's why we keep rolling, man. That's why we keep rolling. I think more people, too, out there that, you know, work with others, have a team, have a business partner. You know, the best thing you could do is just, like, you know, yes, have fun, joke around, eat shit, but most importantly, learn from one another, and don't be scared to, like, really put your egos aside. And just understand that you're a team at the end of the day. Like, you guys have a set goal that you want to achieve, and it doesn't matter how you're going to get it, right? Doesn't matter if it's going to expose things from yourself that you're not going to be great at. Well, that's why you got your partner and your team member there to help you carry on those weaknesses, because they have those strengths, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I know my weaknesses. Josh knows his weaknesses. I know my strength. Josh knows his strength. Same with Kirsten back here. We can't be doing stuff without either of us in here in this room, because we are not the best at every single thing. So
I like to say I am, though. Sometimes it makes me feel good.
I just want to chime in really quick that I'm, you know, obviously helping you both with your content individually and for the podcast, and it's truly been like such a privilege for me to like work with you guys. I'm so grateful that you guys like trust me with your mission, your business, and I've learned so much from you guys in the short 7 months we're going into now together.
Crazy it's been that long.
Time.
crazy
Yeah.
that it's been that long,
Crazy.
though.
And I love you guys both. You're both
Appreciate
like amazing guys. You inspire me every single day, and thank you guys for trusting me.
No, thank you.
Thank you. And that's the guy. That's at the end of the day, guys. That is the most important thing, right? Is that you can all sit down just the way we are right now and be able to just be real with your team and just give thanks and gratitude for every single person. And then also too with yourself, give yourself gratitude for yourself, to allow yourself to understand like what you're good at, what you're not, and give gratitude to yourself for allowing yourself to be consumed in a group of people that you all can share the same table. Yes, you might get into discussions, some arguments, some this, that. Doesn't, you know, at the end of the day, we're human, but when you know the big goal at hand, and you know what's most important, you can still come together and say, you know what? Thank you. I love you. This is why we're here doing this, and this is why we can achieve some massive greatness in each other's lives and the goal set at hand.
Well, and I think, too, you know, like probably the last thing that we really need to say on the pod, you know, for today is we take things seriously, you know, to an extent, but at the end of the day, like, we all like to have fun. You know, like it's mostly about we enjoy being around each other. You know, we might argue every now and then. We might, you know, have our differences. We might have our different opinions and everything. Well, we all feel blessed to be able to do what we want to do in life, right? And be in control of, you know, our futures, our destinies, and the way that we're going to go about things. And I mean, you know, I'm a health coach, right? You're a business coach now, and you know you're obviously one of the our favorite people to work with, our content director, handling everything behind the scenes and giving us different
all the
insight
stuff
in that.
you guys see.
But like it's a joke what we do. At the end of the day, like talking in the podcast, like to be able to even we were talking with my mother in New York, like she's like, you guys just talk shit, like this is what you do for a living? Like, yeah, I fucking guess so. Like didn't really take the time to think about it, but like we're not doing manual labor. We get to sit here and fucking spout bullshit on some microphones in front of a camera, and
but again,
and like the messaging behind both of what you guys are doing is just to help people. So 100. It's like can't get better than that.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day too, guys, like, don't get us wrong, we still have to work, but
of course
we're definitely enjoying the process. Why? Because we have put in some massive work earlier on in our lives, and we're not just saying that to say, we're fucking work harder than everybody else. There's a lot of people that work harder, but you have to realize at a certain point, where do I have to start pivoting my hard work to work more efficiently and more smart? And that's something that, we decided we wanted to do. We were not going to consume ourselves. We said, you know what? We went through the nitty gritty. We worked hard. Now it's time for us to also enjoy doing something we really wanted to do and turn that into a business itself so we can enjoy these moments. And that's what it takes, guys. And there's a lot of people out there that you can do it too, who are working their asses off, who want to do things and live up to their dreams, and you're too scared right now to do it, and you have to face that fear and understand that it's like Josh said, you have to just go in. You have to just go in. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, how you look, what you're saying, being in front of the camera, the this, the that, what you have, what you don't have. It's just about putting that first initial step forward, right? And then taking the next step and taking the next step and just trying something different, and then putting yourself in that uncomfortable position, and then it's going to lead to another thing, into a bigger thing, into a bigger thing, and then next you have your dream vision coming into fruition, and you're hitting those goals. But you have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable. You have to allow yourself to be exposed in a way, right? And exposing yourself, right? Exposing yourself of who you truly are and what you're truly great at and what you're not. And then allow yourself to consume yourself in those uncomfortabilities so you can do more of the things you want. And then you can enjoy more of this stuff, right? You want to talk shit the way we're talking shit, right? And hopefully our shit is giving you value, our shit talking. But you can do more of these things that you want to do. And you can sit back and be like, wow, I can't believe I am my business and I'm making money, or I'm enjoying life the way I want to enjoy it, right? And like we said, we're still far from what we want to hit. But we can at least sit here and say, we're doing the things we said we wanted to do, and we're in the process of that. We're bringing it into fruition.
Man, you said that much better than how I would say it. I should be like, don't be a pussy. Do what the fuck you want to do in life. Who gives a shit about everybody else?
It is. It's true.
Like,
it's true.
If you make money, great. If you don't make money, at least you're happier, right? Better than sitting at that fucking desk job, clicking away at a fucking computer screen. Don't be a pussy. Do what you want to do.
Come join the freaks.
Yeah.
Come join the freaks.
Be a freak, not a geek. Well, a little bit of a geek because, intelligence matters. But
and then comment down below or DM us, who do you think the biggest freak of us all is?
Yeah, and stop asking about my fucking feet. Peace out, guys.